All right, council, we're back up here again. It's Thursday, April 7th, 2016. We are, it's 8:15 here at City Hall, 116 West Ridge, Texas, and Granbury City Council. Special meeting is called to order. Our first deliberation agenda item here is to discuss and consider Eco-Brand manufacturing project needs. And we do have in the audience here Mr. Ed Pender with Eco-Brand. So I'm going to kick this off with our city manager, Chris Cobb. If you would please, Chris.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, appreciate y'all coming together for this special meeting, for this special consideration tonight. We have successfully applied for grant funds to the tune of $493,000 and have been awarded those funds. Texas Department of Agriculture has performed a site visit, moving down rapidly, trying to assist Eco-Brand in locating their facility here as quickly as possible. I did receive an email last week that was quite disheartening because it appeared that they still haven't convinced themselves that they're going to build in Granbury. So I reached out and visited with Ed a little bit and asked for him to attend this meeting tonight so that y'all can talk about the needs that he has for his company, and also any decisions that y'all may want to make in regard to those needs. So I think one of the issues is that our grant originally planned for that water line to be run to the property line. And it's not a problem for us to extend that water line as needed to meet city code. But in the grant application, we added one to the property. So if there's funding available within the bid award, we should be able to extend that water line within those limits that's been approved for funding. And that's kind of where we're at. So I've asked the engineer to put a alternate bid procedure in the document when we drafted for extending the water line down Coke Road with those grant funds if they're available. So the question then came for Mr. Pender about the expense if it's not covered by the grant, and maybe there's some clarification he can help you with that. I'll be honest, I haven't talked to Mr. Pender this week, been extremely covered up with everything else it seems like, but I knew that we would get together tonight and we would iron this out, and finally figure out what's going on and what needs to be taken care of here. They were also concerned about the storm detention pond requirement, and I don't know how we can get around that requirement. And also, they were concerned about needing to put in a fire sprinkler system. I will say that if we don't need a fire sprinkler system, we don't need a water line extension to the site, so we don't need a grant. So with all those things up in the air, I instructed our engineer and our grant writer, consultant administrator, to stop procedure on any further expense until we get a firm commitment from Eco-Brand if they want to move forward with the city of Granbury, and then we can put it back on the fast track. So I guess at this time, I'd like to call on Mr. Pender to answer any questions or maybe articulate what needs to be said in regard to this project for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ed Pender?
Yes, well, thanks for having me here. I know it's been a long day.
Pull that mic down or right into you. Sometimes it's not, it's hard to hear.
Okay, anyway, I wanted to thank you all for letting me come and talk to you tonight. It's been a long day for you all. So. But anyway, just to give you a little background on Eco-Brand, we've been a business located here in Granbury for 30 years now. And the part of the business that we're talking about right now is the rope manufacturing part of the business that employs 77 employees. And so now we're having to make a tough business decision where we're going to locate this new facility. Our first choice was definitely Granbury, keep it here in the area. But along the way, we've been encountering a lot of, laws and ordinances that are not in effect at other sites that we could possibly build at. So, you know, the big one is the sprinkler system. I think we're okay with that. I know it's you know, it'll make the building a better building, and so we're prepared to, you know, foot the bill for that. But then the water line, you know, we were able to get, with a lot of help from Chris and Jake McAdams, we were able to get a grant. And, but then I found out that the grant, or that idea was to only bring the water line to the front of the property at 377. And so it's about $75,000 to run the line from there to the back of that piece of property, which would be, I guess, $60,000 to run it down Cove Road. And so that's really what I was here tonight to ask assistance for. I understand the water retention pond. You gotta do something with that water. That's gonna cost us another $50,000 or so, but I understand that. It would not be an issue at the alternative site, but, you know, we're still willing to live with that as well. So I'm just trying to ask for a little bit more, a little more assistance from the city to run that water line up Cove Road, north on Cove Road.
And I'm looking at your estimate that you gave us. This looks to be like the service lines from the water main to your building. Is that
It would be, it's two pieces. It's $60,000 is the first piece. That's an 8-inch line running from 377 up to the property. And from that point, we've got to put in what they call a riser and run two separate lines, one dedicated to the sprinkler system and one for the regular water to the building. So that would be the other approximately 15,000. Which, you know, we're fine with that, paying that part of it as well.
And just so it says no vault, but I think you're gonna need a vault. I don't know what they were thinking. My fire marshal, fire expert, director of buildings here. Jim, could you address that need related to a vault for the our sprinkler system?
Yes, sir. Mayor, Captain, Mr. Manager. They wouldn't have to put in a vault. They could put them in a riser.
Okay.
So they wouldn't have to put a vault.
Okay. And what kind of infrastructure would we need from, if we ran a water line up parallel to the side of the building on the western side, does that need to be looped?
It
Or
would be
can it
better
just
to be looped.
Can it just be tapped in straight to the 12-inch main?
Yeah, it wouldn't be good to dead end.
Right, it needs, the fire line needs to be looped, is that correct? Ed, have you consulted with your designer on that fire line?
Well, they had a sprinkler, an engineer company that designed sprinkler systems that provided the quotes. I'm not an engineer or sprinkler system expert, but
But that sounds like there could be some savings there, right? I mean,
No, it's more cost, that's what I'm getting at.
More?
Yeah. Last thing I want to do is not discuss every detail of what you need to do so you make a decision by the end of tomorrow, so we know what to do. So I'm just saying, this thing says no fire, it says 2 8-inch fire lines, no vault. And I guess that's from, you said from 377, is that what you're talking about?
as I understood it, again, I'm not an engineer, but I thought it was just an 8-inch line up Coke Road that we talked about. And then from there, you branch off probably with that looped system. I know there were two 4-inch lines and a riser involved coming off of that.
Well, that's all we do with it.
Did Jim, you agree though, no vault was okay, right?
We did say.
Okay. Okay,
They've got 2-inch lines there, Mayor. I think it's
I think that's out of
yeah.
It says approximately 350 feet of 8-inch water main.
Yeah.
And then it's got 2-inch water service. That's-
I think the 2-inch would be just the regular water to the building.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and
then
then
the
the
4-inch lines for the,
8-inch fire lines, plural, so I don't know if he's looping it or not, so that. I just don't want you to get caught off guard and say, wait, anyway, whatever they come up with. So,
Oh, the engineer's not here, but how can 8-inch water line be 14,000 and 2-inch water line be
60,
Yeah.
that's, well, he's also got 350 foot of 8-inch. He's also got that approximate 350 linear foot of 8-inch water line with no number, so it's kind of the heading for the whole estimate, so.
I can get some clarification on that first thing in the morning, but the way I understood it from our builder who got the estimate from his contractor, the sprinkler system company, it was, the main cost was the 60,000, was the 8-inch line from 377 going up. And then the other 15,000 we could get from there.
Yeah, in your email, you sent me a copy of the engineered drawings for the storm detention pond.
Right.
And it showed, the release of 6.4 cubic feet per second from that detention pond. And that's not very much water. You know, that, we get more water running down the highway in front of those businesses than what they're talking about there. And I'm wondering if, whether, and you already said y'all build a pond.
Yeah, that.
What I'm getting at is, do you need to
those-
build a pond? I mean, for 6 foot of cubic feet per second, I'm questioning why they're drawing up a big pond for that kind of outflow. I know that that's, well, maybe that's the outflow and they're trying to hold the water back, and that keeps it at the current right now. I'm not sure, I'm not the hydraulic engineer, but
All I
I think
know
you build a
is-
pond bigger than you need.
That pond was, based on the specs provided by Freeze and Nichols, the engineers that, I guess, are advising the city.
Okay.
So it meets their requirements.
And in your email, you told me that you thought that was gonna cost $20,000, or was that a typo?
There are two different estimates on that. One, if we can spread the rock somewhere on that property, that'll save 25,000. But if we have to haul all of that we dig out of there away, then it's gonna be 50,000. But,
Big difference, isn't it?
yeah.
All right, well, and we
So
articulated
maybe,
these.
I'm not sure what the city requirements are gonna be for, there's a problem if we spread the rock on the existing
So,
lane there.
yeah, let me frame it. Are we articulating properly when we say we need to consider trying to figure out a way to assist you with this water line up Coke Road and you take it from there?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Mr. Mayor, a couple questions. In our discussions today, have we talked of annexation, voluntary annexation at some point in time or not?
Well, we made a verbal commitment not to annex them for 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's,
So-
that would be put in the form of agreement at some point in time.
It's my understanding that businesses that operate out of the city pay 1.5 times the normal rate for water, is that correct?
That's correct.
Are they aware that that's?
They were wanting an industrial rate, and we talked about doing that as well.
Okay. So potentially we could use that industrial rate to offset a little bit of the cost of the pipeline.
That's what it was intended.
It would have a long-term savings versus a short-term expenditure.
Yeah.
So it was something we could talk about.
Sure. Well, and y'all know that we've done an economic impact model, and it's a very positive impact for our community to keep them here. I don't think we have to re-justify the project again verbally on the council meeting, but I just want you to know that that study is available if any of you need it for any reason.
And I might also add that, because of Equibrand and the employees, with Equibrand, that's what made the grant possible. And so the city is gonna be getting, $600,000 water line for, paid by the state.
I did want to make a comment. I thought you guys showed a good heart in taking care of your employees after the fire, and we want to let you know that we really appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Restorative law.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Mobley?
I would like to make a motion, we take a short executive session, if that's okay.
Okay, we've got a motion to take a short executive session. Council, at this time, pursuant to section 551.071, Texas Government Code, the city council will go into executive session for a short term.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Parsons?
where'd Mr. Prendergast go? He went over here behind the
There, he's
podium
back
there. All right. There we go. I can see you there. I wanted to say thank you for the fine tenants you guys are, a fine company you've been in our city for all these, what'd you say, 30 years? And we appreciate all the jobs that y'all produce and all the work that y'all do in support of the community. And I like to think that y'all have been successful here, and I don't know if that's our fault. That's probably all your fault, but we do want to thank you for your company and your being a part of our community. I think also the city of Granbury has shown a great deal of support for your company, and I think in this particular instance, we've jumped through a lot of hoops and committed city funds and worked hard to ensure that your needs were met and that we could work together to move forward. So I think tonight the council wants to commit to, with either grant funds or city utility funds, to bringing the water line up to code, probably to the property line of your building on Coke Road. I think we have some issues with building on your property as it relates to code and things like that, but we would be willing to bring the water line up Coke Road to your building. We would also like to ask that we have some type of agreement by tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock, either you and the city manager working together to get that agreement in place so that we understand your commitment to move forward with the project. We have invested money in getting that project that far, and so we'd like to get the commitment made so that we can get people back online. We did fast track the project to get the money available, and I think that shows our commitment to your project. Other than that, I think that's it. We appreciate it, and thank you for your hard work.
Is that a motion?
Will I make a motion?
Yeah, you want to make a motion?
I make a motion, we commit either grant funds and or utility funds to ensure that code is met on water line moving to their rear property line on Coke Road.
Mayor,
So we've got a motion by Councilman Parsons to do those items.
I'll second that. I want to make sure.
Mr. Allen's going to second it.
Yes, sir, I want to make sure.
Any more discussion?
Sir?
Here, go ahead.
Okay. On that water line, we're taking on Coke Road to their property line at the back of the property line. We're not going to go to the back of the building, correct?
Well, I believe it needs to go to the rear of that lot that he's building
Yeah.
on, that he's improving and platting.
Yeah.
Isn't that right,
And
Scott?
that's what you said.
For code.
Yeah. Rear of the property.
Thank you.
So we have that motion, and we've got it defined on where it's going to go, and I have a second by Councilman Allen. Any more discussion on that, council? And I will say, and on top of what Mr. Parsons just said, 30 years of service here in the community, and I've run into a lot of people working out there, and it's a great place to work. They like working out there, and we want to continue another 30 years right here in Granbury because we know it has the history of being one of the largest rope manufacturing companies in the world. And we like having that title attached to Granbury, Texas, so we want to hope that you guys will consider what we've thrown at the table with you tonight, and that we can work with you in another 30 years. So with that said, Councilman Parsons, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Allen?
Aye.
Councilman Couch? Aye. Councilman Mobley?
Aye.
Councilperson Myers?
Aye.
So that is approved. We'll send it out and see what Eckelbrand wants to do with it. With that said, is there any more discussion, council? If not, I'll adjourn the meeting.